Hey guys, Jolly Jirachi here, and today I'm bringing you a profile of my Talonflame Garchomp deck. Now, I know that's not a name of a deck you guys hear all the time, but I came up with the idea a couple weeks ago. I thought, well, Talonflame Greninja is pretty good, and it's a stage 2 deck, and it runs Talonflame. Maybe Garchomp can be good with all like the strong energy. Its second attack is pretty amazing, so I said, let's give it a try, and it's actually been performing pretty well. The Mega Scizor deck that you saw on Sunday, this actually beat it. I play tested it, and it beat it, and it's crazy, but hey, it works, so I decided I'll give you guys a list, and if you like it, that's great. So start off, we only play 3 Talonflame. I want to play 4, but I would play 4 honestly, but I don't actually own 4. I only own 3, so we're going to stick with 3 for now, and it's been working just fine. And Talonflame, the reason you play it and not any of its other evolution is because of Gale Wings. If this Pokemon is in your hand when you're setting up to play, you may put it face down as your active Pokemon. Now that in itself is an amazing ability to be able to get this stage 2 down right away in the game. But then Arrow Blitz for 1 colorless, so I can attach a fighting energy to it if I want, does 40 damage, and you get to search for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. Any 2 cards. This is amazing. This can help get Garchomp's turn 2 almost every game if you can start with it. And it's just such a good consistency card, especially for stage 2 decks. And then for the Garchomp line, I'm playing a 4-2-4 line of Garchomp. Now the reason I'm only playing 2 Gabites is even though Garchomp is a stage 2 and evolves off of it, is because, as you'll see later, I play Rare Candy, and Rare Candy allows you to skip the stage 1 evolution and go right to stage 2 from a basic. And with Talonflame, that's pretty easy to do because you can search for a Garchomp and a Rare Candy and put it in hand to get your turn 2 Garchomp. And then some text I put in for some of your more difficult matchups. I put in a 1-1 Zebstrika line. I've been really liking this. It helps to take out Shaymins if you can't get 2 energy on a Garchomp for some reason, but you also have to get 2 on here. It's not the best, but when you can get it set up, especially against Mega Ray, it can one-shot them, which is one of your worst matchups, I'd have to say, because it can keep one-hitting you and you have to 2-hit it. But Zebstrika can one-shot it, which is nice. And then, I don't know how I feel about this. This is not a finished list. I was thinking about cutting this, and one of the cards becoming a 4th Talonflame, and maybe one of these becoming a 3rd Gabite, or something else, or maybe even a 3rd Sycamore, because my support account's a little weird when it comes to this list, just because I feel like when you're running Talonflame and you can start it, you don't need a giant supporter line. So speaking of supporters, let's get into it. We're only playing 2 Sycamore. Yeah, I know, it's a really low count, but I feel like if you can start Talonflame, you're all good, and if you don't, it's been working fine for me anyway. Playing only 2N. And the reason I only play 2 is because I cut 1 N for an Ace Trainer, because this deck is slow and you're going to fall behind, and the Ace Trainer is so much better than N if they take a 1 prize lead and it's 6-5 them. You can make them only get 3 cards as opposed to 5, and you still get 6, so it's still really good. They're playing 1 Lysander, because you basically have to play Lysander in every deck. It's such a good card. We're playing 1 Skyla. It's a slow deck. You can afford to play it. You can search for any trainer card, maybe a Rare Candy, an Ultra Ball in order to get a Garchomp. We're playing 1 Pokemon Ranger. Otherwise, we basically lose to Glaceon because we have no way to hit it, because every card that we play that actually does damage and won't get one-shot by Glaceon is an evolution, so we need to play that. And then getting into items, we play 3 Trainer's Mail. Let's look at the top 4 cards, and if you find a trainer card besides Trainer's Mail, you can take it if you want. It's such a really good consistency card, and I think actually, now that I think about it, if I would cut the 1-1 Garbodor line, I'd add a Talonflame and a 4th Trainer's Mail, just because this card is that good. And then we're playing 4 Ultra Ball. I chose 4 Ultra Ball instead of maybe 3 Ultra Ball, 2 Level Ball, even though Gabite and Gibble and Blitzel and Trubbish are searchable with it. I chose 4 Ultra Ball just because normally with this deck, you're going to be setting up with Talonflame. You don't need those extra level balls to search it out. So this time the stuff you will actually need to search out is over 90 HP. So that's why I chose just to play the 4 Ultra Ball in this deck. Then we are playing 4 Puzzle, just because I feel like you need to be able to get back all of your cards in this deck. especially your Garchomps, even though we are going to be running a Super Rod in this deck. It'll just help because Strong Energy get back. We're not playing a special charge. I'm just going to tell you that now. So this is going to help you get that back. They're playing one Enhanced Hammer. I feel like Enhanced Hammer is such a good card in this format, like I said in my other videos. It's just so good in almost every matchup except for Volcanion and Mega Scizor, and sometimes Mega Scizor will even run Shield Energy. And this card is just so good in almost every matchup there is. And we're playing one Super Rod. It's pretty explanatory. You shuffle back any combination of Pokemon or basic energy just to get back your Garchomps and Garchomp line energy and stuff like that. We are playing two Rare Candy. This is instead of the 4 Gabites, so we can evolve to Garchomp right away. It's a way quicker way of doing things. And then instead of playing what you have been seeing in most Garchomp lists from the past were Muscle Bands, but those have rotated. So I've chosen to play Bursting Balloon, because if they don't attack your Garchomp, you get an extra turn of attacking, which means you get the knockout. And if they attack your Garchomp, assuming you're using the second attack, they'll knock out themselves. So it's a really good card, and it'll help your Garchomps either stay alive or get a knockout anyway with them dying. And then for the Garbodor, we are playing one Floatstone. I know it's only one, and it might be prized, but most of the time you're not actually going to ever need the Garbodor, I've seen, except for maybe Volcanion and stuff like that, which is why it's in here. So one Floatstone I found is perfectly fine. And then these are VS Seekers. My VS Seekers, I didn't feel like taking them out of my Mega Scizor deck and putting them in here. So I just left these as the backwards cards, which are proxies for it. If I go to tournament, yeah, I have to switch them out. But these are 4 VS Seekers, pretty explanatory. I actually have an extra one right here, but it's only one, so I don't plan on putting it in here until I get a few more. You can put supporter cards from your discard pile into your hand. It's such a great card just because it allows you to reuse one-out supporters, and it gives the deck a lot of consistency. Then for stadiums, we're only playing 2 Scorched Earth. It provides extra draw power in early turns and late game turns. It's such a good card to play, and you can bump other stadiums. Then we are playing one Silent Lab, because we don't actually rely on any basic abilities, so no point not to play a one-of, especially when Shaman and Hoopa and Magearna are just running around rampant right now, and you can just shut off all their abilities. And then to energy now, we're playing 4 Strong Energy. You can only play 4 of them because it is a non-basic energy, and it's so good. You can attach it to only fighting Pokemon, but when it is attached to a fighting Pokemon, it gives 20 more damage, which Garchomp's attack does 80 plus 80 if the Pokemon is an EX, and that's only 160, but with a Strong Energy attached, it's 180, and with another, it's 200, which is a very, very good attack. It can even one-shot Zygardes, which most decks struggle to do. And then, rounding out the energy, we play 5 basic. I found that this 4-5 line of energy has worked out really well, especially with the Super Rod and puzzles of time to get them back if you do somehow run out. And I found that this list has been working really well. Again, it's still in testing, so if you want to make some changes, go ahead. If you have any suggestions for the deck, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you like the video, please leave a like. Thanks for watching.